Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vice Versa Tarot. And I'm going to butcher this, fair warning. It's by Massimiliano. I can never say this right. I'm looking right at it, too. Massimiliano Filodoro. Artwork by David, I think, Corsi. The important part of this is so you can see the spelling. So if you like these artists or creators and you want to see other things they do, you can find them. That's what I want from that. So that's the whole point. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. I'm probably butchering that like nobody's business. I know. Again, I want you to be able to find the creators. So there's that. Okay. What do we have for Taurus? There's more. Ooh, what are you doing, Taurus? You got that trickery card. Trickery. What's going on, Taurus? That's funny. I don't think of Taurus as a trickery card type of energy, but I don't know. Let's see what they're trying to say here. Sometimes that's fun. Like, it's almost kind of like sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. So, you know, somebody tries to get the better of you, and you're like, you know what? These rules, I can play by those rules. It's not bad. I don't think this is bad, by the way. I'm getting trickery in the sense of, like, you're letting somebody think what they want to think. Trickery doesn't have to be bad. I know that not everybody's going to agree with me on that. I give you that. But I'm getting for the betterment of everybody else. It's kind of like if somebody wants to think what they want to think, you're like, I don't really have the energy, time, or desire to fight that. That's what they want to think, then think it. Think it all you want. Is it bad or is it good? I don't even know. Somebody seems to think they know what you're all about. I don't think that's true. That's the trickery. You're like, if that's what you want to think, you think that. You seem to be protecting somebody or something, and I think that's why. Now that makes a lot of sense to me for Taurus. You let somebody think whatever they want. If it's protecting somebody else around you, that could happen. I can see that working for Taurus. Kind of like, you know what? If that thought keeps trouble at bay, okay. I mean, it's not how it is, but okay. I don't see you really lying. I just don't see you going in to correct anything. Kind of like, all right, keeps this other person I care about safe. Okay. It's kind of like, you know, if somebody broke up and they think the other person, like, went to, like, they moved to another country or another state or whatever, and honestly they just moved like maybe an hour away into a different city, so they're within distance, but if they think they're farther away and they're leaving them alone, you're like, they can think that's okay. And if you know they think that, you'll be like, and I'll do what I can to make sure that I don't, you know, negate that out. When it protects somebody else, I do see that. Because I feel like you're liking this. Like, that may be the perception here, but it's serving the situation. It's dissipating. It's taking the stress away from a situation. It's taking the stress down a notch. So you're kind of like, you know, yeah, but it's helping. It's helping. So I'm going to let it be. Because whatever you're coming up against, somebody thinks they discovered what was actually happening. And it's the back of the Ten of Cups, which is telling me it's like they're in the dark about what's going on. This is better for everybody. Whatever they're thinking, it seems to be helping everybody. The misconception here is actually helping. Again, it's kind of like they're leaving somebody alone maybe because they don't think they're accessible anymore, and truth is they are. But that's fine. You're like, that's fine. They can think that. It makes things easier. We'll do that. We'll do that. What they discovered isn't really what's happening. That's what I'm getting. But there's something that's driving them forward, and that's another thing. Kind of like why you're not going in there to correct this. Because like if you go and tell this person what's really going on, it's just going to go out of control. And it's kind of like, no, I'm not going to throw gas on that fire. No, I'm not throwing gas on that fire. No. Now, this makes things a lot better. I feel like I'm like perplexed. Like, like this is where misinformation is actually not bad. Trickery is not bad. Things go a lot better. Over time, I feel like things are really improving because of this. it's just a perception or whatever the information is, it's really having a very positive effect here. The what number is this? The Seven of Cups. There's confusion here. There is confusion, but I also feel like because there's confusion, people are just sticking to what they know. I do think that's what's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on over there. So I'm just going to stick with what I know, what I'm doing. I'm just going to stay in my own boat, stay in my own lane, leave everybody else alone because I don't know what's really going on over in these other places. And it seems to be like when people are centering on their own stuff because they don't know what's going on in other places and they don't want to find out, things do get better. Things do keep going in a good light. Faith comes in with guilt. I feel like it bothers you that you know people... Like, people are confused, and you know it. And you're kind of like, I kind of want to solve that confusion. But at the same time, I don't want problems. It's kind of like, I don't like the fact that there's a mystery, and I know the answers to these mysteries. But I don't want problems. And I'm just like, I don't want to throw gas on that fire. And I think if I do, it could make things go bad. Oh. It's kind of like, it's really weighing on you. Kind of like, should I keep my mouth shut? Or should I say what's going on? It's kind of like, as long as that person doesn't know what's going on, they leave everybody alone and they just, they keep to themselves. But on the other hand, it's not, sooner or later it seems like the truth is going to need to come out. There is confusion here, literally confusion. There's a lot of weird cards here in the environment. There's this is the front of the Three of Pentacles, this is the back. They're getting the back. They don't know what to do, but they want to do something. Somebody is very motivated to change things, and they're confused, and they're trying to just hold together and figure out what they don't want to, like. It's kind of like they're trying to figure out where it's, for example, if we're going to use that, like this person, they think this person may have moved to a completely different state or a different country. But now they're trying to figure out where that is. And once they do, they're going to try to see if they can contact that person. And you're like, if they figure out that they're like an hour away, they're going to take a trip there and they're going to show up at their doorstep and you know it. And you're like, I don't want that to happen. They're confused, but they want to do something. And you know they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out the answer. And if they find it out, they're going to act on it. That is the back of the Judgment card. Here's the front of it, just in case you want to see it. It's almost like this goes to a point where it's like it's almost like it's too late. It's kind of like judgment has been rendered. It's too late. It should be done. They should move on. Whatever this problem is, whatever this misinformation is, they should just kind of accept it and move on. Move away from that subject, move into something else, let it go so that it doesn't really have to be that big of a deal. But I'm also getting the release with the facade. They're not really letting it go, but they may look like they have. They may look like they've let it go, but they have not. And I'm getting the back of the Judgment card. It's kind of like they're still hoping that things will go their way. They're still hoping once they figure out what's actually happening that they can get what they want. So on the outside it may look like they let it go. On the inside they can't. They just can't. I feel like they literally can't. The truth will come out. Sooner or later, the truth will come out. Now this is interesting because I like this card, but when it comes up for you, what I'm seeing come in with it, this is the back of the Page of Wands, okay? But they got the Phoenix on the back. The Phoenix is an energy that rises from the ashes, burns bright, burns out, and returns to ashes, and does this cycle again. Up, down, up, down. It's usually a dramatic rise and a dramatic fall. So, whatever the situation is, when it comes back in and the truth is known, it's going to burn bright. It's going to be big deal. There's going to be gossip, and you're not going to like it. You got despondence and gossip. When it comes back around, and it will come back around. And I think that maybe that's the point of this. They're kind of saying this is going to be one of those situations that seems to keep cycling. Burns bright, comes back, it's really intense, and then burns out and goes to ashes, but it keeps coming back. That's the whole thing with the Phoenix. Burns bright, burns out, ashes. Burns bright, burns out, ashes. Again and again. But it's intense. The thing is, it's constantly intense when it is. I feel like they're saying you got to realize it's coming back, and it's going to come back with a vengeance. It really is. The Two of Cups comes in with the forgiveness. Whenever they figure out what it is, they just want what they want, and they're not looking at the total picture. They're just centering on what they want. When I'm getting forgiveness with the back of the Two of Cups, like this is the front. The back is like, I feel like they're short-sighted. They just want what they want. It's kind of like, say you're diabetic and you just want a box of donuts and you just want to plow through it. Like you just want what you want. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. You could have serious, serious problems. But that's this energy kind of saying, I don't care. I don't want. No, I just need the sweets. I just need the sweets, and I'll be fine. It'll be fine. Not centering on everything else going on around them. Just I want the sweets. I want the sweets. I want the sweets. And feeling like it'll work out. Everything's going to be fine. If there comes a point where I have to do something, then when that point comes, I'll deal with it. Not realizing getting to that point may be very devastating. They're very short-sighted. Whoever's going towards whatever they want. Very short-sighted. There should be growth here, though. And the Seven of Wands is telling me it's face. It's the front part of it. That's the back, in case you want to see it. It's very. I feel like what they're saying is realize that this is burn bright, burn out, and it keeps doing this. And for you to have longevity to where this might at least start to at least seem like it's improving, you got to work with that energy and you got to kind of plan with it. So that way, I know that that's going to burn bright, so I need to have my fire extinguisher ready. I need to have my fire extinguisher ready. I know it's going to turn back into ashes, so I need to be able to collect those ashes and put them where I want them to be until it starts coming back. And I also have to realize those ashes are going to reignite again. Hopefully you can get into a place where you're like, all right, it's going to burn bright again, so I have to be ready for it. It's going to burn out again, so I have to be ready for that too. It's planning for it, for those pieces, for when it starts burning bright again and trying to not let it burn completely out of control. Like when I'm feeling this Phoenix energy, like you don't want it to set a forest on fire. But also when it burns out, you don't want it to make a big mess all over the place. You want to contain it in one area as best you can. Like when it burns out, you don't want it to be all over the house. If you can contain it to one small room and just deal with it there and clean up that one small room, that's better. I think that's what they're going for here. When it ignites, you want to make sure you keep it as controlled as possible and make sure it ignites things in hopefully a controlled situation as best as possible. When it extinguishes and makes a mess, you want to try to also contain it the best you can. And they're saying that's the best you can do with this. There's going to be a mess when it burns out. Just trying to regulate to where that is. It's going to ignite a lot of things when it ignites, but try to regulate where that is as well. I seem to think whatever this situation is, they're saying that's the best you can do with it. That over time you might be able to create more success, but it's like trying to control it the best you can, realizing it's going to, like, if you have something igniting, there's only so much you can do to control that. Sometimes it's just the location, not how much, but like where it is, not how much it's going to take over, but where it's going to take it over. That might be the thing. I hope that helps. Because I think this is meant to empower, honestly, and I think hopefully if it hits right, you'll realize, yeah, all right, it's going to do that. It's going to cause damage. But if I can just keep it over there, that's better than it being all over here. Like, I'd rather take out the garage than the house. Like, if it's going to burn down a structure, I'd rather take down the garage because I can still live in the house. If it takes down the house, like, I'm not going to really have a good time living in the garage. So it's kind of like that. All right, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to shut it down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com if I can spell it out. It's also below if you're looking for it. Thank you.